very good. And I do want people to know the book. I beg people to know the book, and I appreciate that, Ms. Ashley. And talked about that a little bit at Men's Fellowship last night. A lot of people don't know any Bible except what they hear from the preacher or the Hallmark Channel. And all right. And but anyway, and that's not supposed to be that way. And I said this many, many years ago, but the Baptists have become Catholic in their walk with God. The Catholics kept the Bible chained to the pulpit, and they didn't want nobody to have the Bible. They wanted everybody to hear just what the preacher or the priest had to say, and that was as if God spoke. Well, Baptists went through all kinds of persecutions and had people die at stakes, so we get the Bible into everybody's hands. And we put the Bible in everybody's hands, and nobody reads it. And we're just going to count on the preacher, and I'm not for that. I am for you searching the Scriptures daily. And all right, here we go. We're in Matthew chapter 5. All right, let me get myself turned on. And Matthew chapter 5. All right. We're going to look again, if you will, at verse number 21 through 26. We'll try to get through. We were there last week just a little bit, and I want to clear up just a little bit and try to get through verse number 26. Verse 21, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to thy altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. And verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. And I'm on mute. All right, here we go. All right. We dealt with this last week a little bit. I'm not going to get into the words again. We dealt with the rock and thou fool and that thing. But I want us to delve into it just a little bit, maybe clear some things up. We've been studying the Sermon on the Mount for, I think, 15 weeks. I think this is the 15th time we've been here. And there's so much in this. This is I mentioned this Sunday morning. I find it much easier to preach on the sins of the flesh than I do on heart holiness. I do like the song we sang, "Well, I go take time to be holy." That is a forgotten idea among Christianity, and God wants His people to be holy. And again, I'll say it. It's not my message tonight, but we will never straighten America out through Washington. The only way we'll straighten America out is the God's people to get holy, and we are not there. I mentioned this last night to the men. I talked to several preachers in the last week, and we understand we're fixing to get into some dark times, and all of them said basically the same thing. We're going to find out who's real. We're going to find out who's serious with God, and we are going to find out who is spiritual. And all of them said right now, for the last 15, 20 years, the church has been shallow in its spirituality. And we are fixing that. And by the way, persecution will either cause you to leave or cause you to go deep. One or the other. It will cause you to hang on to God like you've never held on to Him before. And so I think we're in for some exciting times. And but this sermon is about holiness. And so as I said every week, but God has stepped into time. And He is now preaching His first sermon publicly to people. And the first word of that sermon is the word blessed. And I think God really does wants to show up and show man how to be truly happy living here. I think He made us to be happy. God did not make us to live in. Of course, He didn't make us live in sin. He made a perfect place, and sin came and messed everything up. But He came, He says, I want you to show you how to be happy. I want you to show you how to be blessed. And so the Creator has come and has given hands-on instruction to the created. And He said, I want to show you how to be happy. And the more I've studied this, and the more I get into it, the more I'm realizing that Jesus is not so much trying to change behavior as He is trying to change the heart. God is, He's all about capturing the heart. Man's heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, and as long as man's heart is in its natural state, you will do nothing and you'll find nothing but wickedness and deceit.
But now God says, I've come. He says, I want to show you how to be happy. He says, and your happy does not do with your circumstances or your environment. Your happy comes from within your heart. And so he's dealing with the heart. Every step of this, he's dealing with the heart. And it really comes to fruition. You really see it in the rest of this chapter. And so the law was designed to control behavior from without. It's to kind of manipulate or to stop it or to punish it, try to control behavior from without, and it basically does not work. All right? It does not work. You cannot legislate morality. It cannot happen. And so Christ has come. He wants to change the heart, because when you get a heart change, you change behavior. Brother Fred told us last night in his testimony, when he got saved, he was a Marine, and he said God totally changed him completely when he got saved. Most of us can testify that God did something on the inside and changed our heart, and when the heart got changed, behavior changed. So you got to have a change of the heart. So you go back and you will look at these what we call 8 qualities of a truly righteous person. You go to the very first one, and we've even mentioned it in the last several weeks. Blessed are the poor in spirit, or they that mourn, or the meek. And we looked at those things as, man, those things are just sort of against our nature. It's not easy to do. I mean, it's not easy to be the kind of person that does not think of self first. And we've grown up now, this whole generation is all about me first. It's called the me generation. And so Jesus comes along and says, if you want to be truly happy, you're going to have to change what you think about yourself. And he's saying you're going to have a change of heart. You're going to have something change on the inside. And I mentioned this is kind of the gist of the sermon on Sunday. You cannot add religion or good works to a deceitful heart and change anything. You've got to something's got to happen on the inside of the heart to make the outside change. And so we find that, and so remind you, in verse 20, you have Jesus looking at the absolute best group of people on the planet. Worldwide, there's nobody, they even go down through history, look at all religions of the world, and pretty much surmise that the group of Pharisees, as far as morality goes, as far as character goes, as far as religion goes, was the best of the best. And Jesus is looking at them and says that your righteousness is not good enough to get you to heaven. And I'm just saying again that if theirs was not good enough, nobody's is. It cannot be done by good works. So it can't be done that way. Then Jesus goes on and says you're going to have a change of heart. You've got to change something on the inside. And so I want us to look at that for just a little bit and just make a few statements about that. It is very possible. If you look at the Pharisees, it is possible to be clean on the outside and dirty on the inside. I mean, it's possible to look the part, smell the part, dress the part. It's possible to be absolutely, according to the law on the outside, on the inside, be full of dead men's bones. So we agree. That's what Jesus said to this crowd. But then some, and down through the years, I've heard it many, many times, and I don't mean it as bad, but sometimes very sanctimonious people will quote a verse. You know it. They'll make a statement like this. For the Lord, 1 Samuel 16, for the Lord seeth not as man seeth. And then they'll say this. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Now, you hear that statement from people to justify the way they look on the outside. And what they're saying is, that my outside is falling apart, but God knows my heart, and my heart is good. Now, think that just a minute. Think that just a second here. I agree 100% that God knows the heart. I will also testify that you don't even know your own heart. I'll say that God knows your heart better than you know your heart. Okay? And so you hear somebody say, especially if you start preaching about, the way you look on the outside. You hear somebody say, well, God knows my heart. And they saying that excusing the filth on the outside. Here's what they're saying. Those bad Pharisees, they were clean on the outside, but dirty on the inside. I'm better than they are. I'm dirty on the outside and clean on the inside. Nobody in their right mind even relatively thinks that's true. I've knocked on a lot of doors in my day. Lots of doors. I said, you go up on the front yard, you walk up on the step, knock on the door. Did you know just by looking around the yard at the front of the house, you're getting an idea of what you think is coming in that door? Do you know nobody in this room is going to walk up to a house and see that house, the shutters are halfway hanging off, the railings falling off, the whole place needs paint, the windows are broke, the weeds, the bushes are growing up in front of the porch. Nobody here is walking on that porch and saying, I bet the inside of that house is immaculate. Everybody's saying, boy, I hate to see what's inside that house. And yet we're going to use that and say, but God knows my heart. And think that's an excuse for how filthy the outside is. That dog won't hunt. As I said, that dog will never tree a coon. That dog will not hunt. Jesus says, if your inside is clean, your outside will be clean, but it's possible your outside can be clean and your inside be filthy. So the whole sermon is about getting people to see their own heart. Now, I could fall in it right here. A clean heart, a heart that is right with God, will produce a clean life. I'm right here at it. Let me go ahead and make you mad. I think it is so important that God's people dress right. Half this crowd's men. Okay? Red-blooded American men. Men, let's just be honest. You see a woman dressed in skin-tight breeches, low top, let me ask you what you're thinking. Is that a saint? You ain't thinking that's a saint. I don't even care if she's in the church house. You ain't thinking that's a saint. You're thinking she's for sale.